The many times I'd conjured him, he'd always worn Doonian clothes, breeches, tunics, the occasional kilt, and often a sword strapped to his side. I'd never pictured him in anything close to modern before. Something about his unexpected attire caused my heart to wrench. He looked so natural, as if he belonged in this place, this life. Which was inconceivable. He was a Scottish prince, complete with a castle and kingdom. Stepping out from the screen, I skirted a pile of discarded clothes to grab my bag. Similar occurrences had taught me that Duncan's apparition could linger stubbornly for hours, but if I left, he wouldn't follow. "Mackenna." His soft, deep brogue tempted me to reconsider, but I'd already played that role, talking back to his image, begging him to stay. He never did. He'd fade away, and I'd be an emotional basket case for days. "I'm too tired for this," I pleaded. "Please go away." When I brushed past the imaginary Duncan, he grabbed my arm. Warm, solid fingers produced little electric tremors on my skin as the clean scent of sunshine and leather saddles enveloped me. While I wouldn't have ordinarily believed my eyes, or ears, or any other sense as far as Duncan was concerned, my soul stirred in recognition as a voice in my head cried out that the impossible had come true. "You're real?" "Aye." His velvety brown eyes with the golden flecks that reminded me of melting caramel fastened to mine. "And so are you." Giddy with shock, I whispered, "What are you doing here?" I waited for words of love, a confession that he couldn't exist without me any more than I could live without him, reassurance that he realized my leaving him on the Brigadoon had been at the expense of my own heart, and the promise that we would never be apart again. Instead, Duncan let his hand drop from my arm. His posture stiffened as his gaze refocused in the vicinity of my right earlobe. "The Queen has tasked me with bringing you back to Doon." "The Queen?" The absence of his touch left me feeling ice cold. Goosebumps covered my arms as I crossed them over my chest. "You mean V? My best friend?" "Aye. She has need of you." She needed me? And the unspoken truth, he didn't. He was here only because those were the orders he'd been given. The hope that had been welling up inside of me froze. "What's going on? Is she okay?" Shadows from the flickering candle shifted across his face, making it impossible to read. "She's well. She requires your assistance is all. I'll explain when we're underway." It was probably a best friend thing. She wanted a confidant or someone to keep her grounded despite her recent ascension to royalty. The reason didn't really matter, because if she needed me, I would go. However, since Prince McCrae was only following orders, I didn't have to make this easy for him. "Now's not really the best time." I let my shoulders rise and fall with my words. "I've got a lot of stuff going on." Duncan stepped closer so that I had to lean backward ever so slightly to see his face. Through tightened lips, he said, "It's not a request. I'll throw you over my shoulder and drag you back if I have to." "You came all this way to threaten me?" I took a cautious step back and flicked the switch near the door. The overhead lights hummed to life. He clamped his eyes shut and sighed, "No." When he looked at me a moment later under the unforgiving lights of the dressing room, he appeared older. Deep worry lines formed creases above the bridge of his nose and at the corners of his mouth. Purplish crescents accentuated the baggy skin under his eyes, making me wonder when he'd last slept. Most noticeably, the easy grin that seemed to be an integral part of his persona was gone, and I couldn't help but wonder if he'd left it on the bridge next to my heart. Threading his fingers through his dark hair, he said plainly, "Look, I didn't like it any more than you. Do you think I'd be here if I could have avoided it?" The question was obviously rhetorical. Everything from the deep frown he wore to his awkward posture indicated he could barely stand being in the same room with me. Not that I could blame him. I promised him that we could be together in the modern world, and then tricked him into returning to Doon alone.